brunch with my people though. The homie Dyke just cooked up a feast and we bout to eat it, bro. Fucked around and has to mix the lobster with the poutine. Daddy is rolling blue dream, them boys got down a routine. It's Naptown culture, cooking 7 courses. Had to pass the torch and now I'm grabbing second portion. So sit back, relax, grab a drink and a smoke. It's Harder Brunch on the way and get prepared for the jokes. Whoa.
Hi, and welcome to the Harder Brunch Podcast. I'm your host, Dyke Michaels. With me, as always, my co-host, Thaddaeus J. Mckee.
Slappy Pappy Wayne Wayne.
On the ones and twos, the wheels of steel, the sauce boss of Indianapolis, and the last bespoke dragon. Give it up for Zach Roan, everybody.
Beam me up, Slappy.
Hey.
And then two very special returning champions with us in studio from the Fake Ass Book Club podcast, Kat and Moni, together again, together at last. Welcome back.
F-A-B.
Thank you for having us.
Very excited, and I don't want to say this in any way to take away from Kat, because we love and cherish Kat on the show. She comes in as a big part of doing a lot of after brunches with us, a lot of breakdowns of topics and stuff like that. But by the same token, we do always miss you. So when you rolled in today, it was a very nice extra treat to see you.
Yes.
It's part of the branding.
That's how you know it's special.
Yeah, it's part of the branding. I make myself sparse so that when I show up, it's an exciting moment for everyone. So you guys are welcome.
It's meaningful.
Yes. Like, what? She showed up.
But more than that, she showed up in a different door than Kat did.
I did.
So I talked to Kat when she came in, and then we walked to the other room and she had appeared.
Element of surprise.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
It's what I'm about.
Yeah, you guys attacked like velociraptors.
Yeah, we do. That's why we're always successful.
That's right.
The Raptors won that movie.
I love it. Yeah, thanks for having us.
It did.
Well, thank you. And you were the inspiration of the day because you were like, hey, are you doing something for Star Trek Day? It's on a Sunday. And I was like, you know what? I should. So this was really all in service to you, Kat, because you brought the idea to the table, and you knew that I was a big Star Trek fan. We have a loosely built role-playing group that's based on Star Trek. We met once, and it was great.
Oh, it's official.
And then we never met again.
No, but there's still time.
It was very fun, and Star Trek, I think, is definitely been a big part of my life, and it's very interesting. I'm in a lot of like Facebook groups and Reddit groups and stuff like that, and I see people that have been into it for 40, 50 years, and I see people that are like just now getting into it, and the fan base is so dense, and there's so much that you can be a part of. It's interesting. I know some of you guys were talking earlier about like, I only have watched a couple episodes of something, or I've watched all of Next Generation, but I haven't watched anything else. And so I find it so interesting that the fan base could be, there's so much to choose from. You know what I'm saying?
It's diverse.
For sure. I got a question for you nerds, you Star Trekkies.
Wow.
Is that what you call it? It's a good nerd, right?
Yeah.
It's a good N word.
The best kind.
Right?
It's all right. Both have been reclaimed.
Yeah, reclamation. Yeah.
Wow, it's N squared.
If you will.
When do you know that you're traveling down the Star Trek nerd status where you like know more than most people? Because I got lost in so many different conversations when y'all were just Star Trekking out. It was almost like a different language. I'm like, when do you get to that level?
I don't know, maybe 4th grade?
4th grade? You got to start young.
Wow.
Well, I'd say for me,
Look at his face.
I'm from a time before the internet, and I remember for Christmas when I was like in junior high, I basically got like a glossary encyclopedia of everything Star Trek that was like current up to that moment.
Yeah.
So it was like a real thing. If you had a question, about Star Trek, you could Google it, through this book by flipping through, and it'd be like, oh, this is because of this. And all the stuff's online now, but like I remember like being really into that, and
You used
like
to have to work for it.
yeah, you used to have to
Flip pages.
really want to know stuff.
Awesome. So that's why I really appreciate you being here because this is intense. Like
It's a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I was with you, Thad. At one point, I just had to direct something toward you so I could feel part of the conversation. I was like, right, Thad, and
we both
like,
lost.
Yeah.
But do you think you might understand why Star Trek kind of sparks this in people? Because we're doing it because September 8th is Star Trek Day because this is when it first debuted on CBS in 1966.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was the most hearty yes and wow I've ever heard. Wow. That's a great fact there, Kat.
Yeah, it was like 1966.
We brought up that it was produced by Lucille Ball.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
And her husband, Desi Arnaz.
Icons.
Yes.
Both.
Like, that was iconic.
I don't know.
Because we were asking, like, who do we most identify with in the Star Trek universe? And I jokingly said for you, it would be the producer who got rich off of it.
Yeah.
I like, we got a nice thing going on here.
Yeah. I'm glad you guys are having fun. Hey.
Hey.
It's funny to me because I've been a part of a lot of nerd fandoms growing up, and they all kind of spawned, from Star Trek. Okay. And then it would be like nerds would be into Star Trek, but then like I watched Doctor Who with my grandpa, and nobody knew about Doctor Who when it was only on like PBS, like on Sundays. And so that was like a nerd thing inside of a nerd thing where even the other people that I could talk to Star Trek about were like, Doctor Who? What is that?
And then it was already like set up to be kind of like, wait, Doctor Who? And it's like, no, that's what it's called, yo.
Oh, yeah.
Like who's on first?
Yeah.
Type
Yes.
pitch. Yeah.
Yes, it's a little cheeky.
So I was, from a very young age, I was very, I don't want to say comfortable, but I was very used to the fact that I was into this thing that like most of my friends weren't into. And then I watched it go all the way around to be like coming cool again. You know, like I think even like when they made like the Kelvin timeline movies, that's kind of like mainstream media were like, oh, Chris Pine's in it, I'll watch some Star Trek, you know, like.
That's
His
usually
face
me.
is so symmetrical.
Yeah, like by the time it gets to pop culture, that's usually when I'm introduced.
Yeah.
Just
I
like,
don't even think it's cool now. I think now there's just enough interconnectedness that the nerds can all find each other.
Yeah.
And which I think is lovely.
Yeah. I'm
And
happy
the
for you
fact
guys.
that like not everybody has to be into it, but we can still enjoy the fruits of Star Trek, which is getting a free meal and getting to be on Harder Brunch.
Doesn't
so
doesn't that make it more special though when less people are into it?
Not necessarily,
No?
because I feel like the theme of Star Trek is things are better when we all work together.
Okay.
Oh, look at that.
Also, there's so the things I like about Star, I mean, like obviously there's like the big things, like it's a very socially progressive show. It always has been. You could make the argument that like some things are more ham-fisted than the other.
It's campy.
But like when people are like Star Trek is woke all of a sudden, it's like no man, it's always been a progressive. It started off as a progressive show. It's always been. Certain shows like could be a little bit more in your face about something, and some will wrap it a bit more in story and satire or whatever. But it's always been that. It's always driven. It was a show that's kind of historically told stories they weren't allowed to tell through the use of science fiction, and about minorities, about LGBT people, about women. But it always had to be kind of peppered in and, you know, kind of kept secret. So that was always cool. And then also just the actual like sci-fi elements of it. Like there's actual inventions that we use that were based because somebody watched Star Trek as a kid and then made that thing happen in real
Like
life.
the touchscreen stuff,
Touchscreen stuff. I mean, even stuff like
flip phones.
data.
Teleporters.
Right.
Data-
That's how I got here.
Data's using like there's a scene in like early Next Generation, which was like the 80s, where Data's just like telling the computer to play music, and like it had a database of music that didn't even exist. Like they didn't even have like an iPod Shuffle back then, you know. So somebody saw that and was like, "Hey, that'd be cool if we actually like had some of that stuff." So I'm
hoping for the hypo spray next.
Yeah.
So you can get
What's
rid
the
of
hypo
syringes.
spray?
Please explain to me and Thad what the hell that is.
Yeah, you lost me. Yeah.
Someone, anyway.
Well, it's like the injections they give you. So they have like this little thing, and it looks like it just goes like up
Dr.
against
Crusher.
your.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah.
You know Dr. Crusher? She'd always pull up on you and give you a little.
But why though? We haven't explained
what?
why.
For what?
What is it for?
it replaced needles.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
Oh,
somehow
so-
it does it without getting in your
Without
skin.
pulling
Or,
you.
yeah.
Oh.
Oh, you made it sound like it was like without consent.
Yeah, just people were walking up on you.
Yeah.
I mean, your
You
neck
can
with
use it
this
however
thing.
you want.
Doctors just be pop up.
I'm
so scared.
It's
Yeah,
like
I
you
don't
came
want
to
that.
sick bay.
Are you
I'm trying to help you out.
You didn't create enough of a narrative for me to understand what
sorry.
was happening.
It's like, hey, are you vaxxed? No, you are now.
Yeah, exactly. Wow.
Well, and then the other thing that I really enjoy about it is the fact that there's shows on now that are just kind of dedicated to making 20-year callbacks to stuff. So it's like, because the continuity is, they try to make it like a continuous, like, continuous universe or whatever. They'll retcon stuff in, and like there's a whole animated show called Lower Decks that's just inside jokes about
yeah.
Star Trek for Star
It's
Trek
just
fans.
fan service animated.
And it's wonderful.
I love it.
Let's talk about this amazing uniform that you're wearing. Because in my head, I was like, I know Kat's going to show up with some Spock ears or something. They probably are going to be black Spock ears.
Of course, because what other kind are there?
Wait, what was the because I didn't watch Voyager. What was the black spot or the black Vulcan from Voyager?
Tuvok.
Okay, yeah.
Tuvok.
I have some elf ears, some black ones if you ever need them at my
Okay,
house.
listen.
My daughter has.
Listen,
Is there
we
a
haven't got
difference
to
between
Halloween.
elf and Vulcan ears?
It don't seem like it. I mean, I'm a
Because I would do the same thing.
novice.
I'd just get
Yeah,
some elf ears.
Yeah.
If you want to appropriate their culture.
It's all appropriation, I guess.
Exactly. That's very, very true. But yeah, the outfit is, she made this, guys. That's what you didn't know.
What?
This
Yeah.
was from a couple Halloweens ago. I busted out every, a couple years.
Isn't it cool?
Yeah, and it's actually very warm too, because trick or treating. Like this is back from when I used to take my son trick or treating.
Wow. Vintage.
And it was, you gotta, come correct. I even got the little,
You did.
because the tricorder had the little battery pack and stuff
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Now I wish we all dressed up like that. I mean,
I do too. Like, I mean, I don't mind doing
Someday.
cosplay by myself, but if
She has to. She's forced to.
I
I'm
pretty
not
much,
getting ready to do
yeah.
it.
That's why I love Halloween, because everybody's given permission to do cosplay.
I realize as much as I claim this fandom, I don't really have any Star Trek stuff.
No outfits?
I don't have any outfits, any T-shirts, any.
You don't have any batches.
movie.
Yeah. I mean, the movies I've watched them all, and like I don't have any hard copies of any media anymore. But
Better.
I was thinking about that. I was like, oh, I'll bust out my Star Trek, and I was like, what do I have? And I was like, surely I have a toy or something. And they're like, no, wow.
I have a T-shirt that lists where every red shirt got killed off in Star Trek. It's
What?
like an
That's
in memoriam. Yeah, it's. I can't find it anymore, but yeah.
Did you guys? So I missed some of the conversation at tableside. Do we go around and everyone said their favorite Star Trek?
Yeah, I think so. Mine is Next Generation.
Next Generation,
So I got introduced through Star Trek because I didn't have cable in my first apartment. So Fox 59 was the only channel that came through clearly.
Oh yeah.
And so yeah, it was like my nightcap. It was the only thing that came on, and it actually was pretty good. Like I enjoyed the storytelling, but as soon as I got cable, I forgot about it.
I had the same. I had a very similar experience with Pokemon.
Okay.
Like when Pokemon was on TV, it was the only thing that kind of came in clear, and so I would watch it before I went to work.
Yeah, it's like it's here. I'm here. We're here. It's because proximity, right? Yeah, we get into stuff for proximity.
But like you were accidentally exposed to
Accidentally, it was totally.
And you're like, oh, Whoopi Goldberg. Okay.
Cool. Yeah, it was pretty good though. I liked it, But and honestly, across the board, I'm just not like a person who like geeks out for stuff. You know what I mean? Like I don't have school spirit. I don't. Yeah, like I'm very like
I was a cheerleader.
Everything's kind of cool. Yeah, it's like I don't get very excited for a lot.
Like
of stuff.
literally jumping up and down.
Yeah, chilling. I like to hang out.
Well, that's the
relax.
dynamic,
That's my
right?
favorite.
Like that's
yeah.
Yes.
But you guys also have an amazing podcast where you celebrate and discuss books, and you seem excited about some of these
I
books.
do. I like talking to people. I get excited about that. Yeah, so absolutely. And sometimes it's Star Trek. It comes up a lot on our show.
Star
actually.
Trek works out a lot great for introverts because it requires a lot of staying at home.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever read you were talking about Nichelle Nichols' autobiography? Have you ever done any Star Trek books on
No.
Fab?
I do it.
You would? Okay.
Yeah.
I try not to overload you with
I
the
appreciate that.
nerddom.
Oh, that's nice.
Well,
But I like
that's-
learning about people.
But
so
that's like
I
about
do
a
it.
human person
thank
who was
you.
a black pioneer who was on a show.
Yeah, she seems amazing.
I feel like the
would
Star
love
Trek is kind of not inconsequential, but it's a small
It's one
slice.
part,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I would love to read her autobiography.
that. You're doing her a solid right now.
Well, I just want her. I would rather Kat read a book and then explain it to me than me have to read a book.
That's
you
the
know?
whole point of the fake ass book club. Yeah. Like, we read books so you don't have to. Like, no one has time for that.
We could call her Cat GTP.
Oh,
that's good.
Go ahead and trademark
What's
that.
the good sound effect?
What's the good side of it?
It's covered in dust because we never use it.
It's broken.
It's gone now. Yeah.
He literally has forgotten which one the good sound effect is. Because that's how little it comes up.
We stopped paying on that sound effect. We ran out of money for that.
But that's what happens when you're in an encouraging environment that Star Trek creates.
Yeah.
Oh, is that right? Mm-hmm. Man, you've been preaching Star Trek like it's like the Bible out here. Like, we need Star Trek to come
Moni
together.
says it all the time. She's like, Star Trek raised you.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, it's a very hopeful look at the future, and most sci-fi is not.
Yeah.
Most sci-fi is like, would imagine,
Alien.
post-apocalyptic
Wait, did
alien
anyone watch
attacks.
Alien?
Oh yeah. Oh, the
the
new
new
one?
one?
No, I haven't. I heard it's great.
I'm disappointed. Moving on.
You weren't scared enough?
I thought it was good.
But it's this really hopeful look that at least humanity has all come together, and it's like we've come together through this exploration of the stars. It's a post-scarcity society, so it's like we don't need capitalism. We don't need to we don't need to hoard. Yeah, everyone, there's enough for everyone, and then it's like, okay, once there's enough for everyone, what do you really want to do? Which confuses me because there's still like barbers in Starfleet, and I'm like,
because you can't replace. You can't let AI cut your
I
hair.
don't want to be ugly. Just what the hell? What kind of world is this?
Yeah, let's just
but
see
like
how that goes.
but that's what I'm saying. Like, so the barbers, they want to be barbers.
Wait, no, here's some because I want to do some Star Trek trivia. So, what
Sure.
was the name of the barber on the Enterprise in Next Generation?
I want to say Bowl or Mole. It was 3 letters. OL was the last one, or Vol maybe.
Vol. I want to go with Vol.
Swole.
I think Bowl.
That's my vote.
Bowl.
I want to go with Cole.
That's such a hood barber name.
Yeah, it is kind of hood. That is.
What, Swole?
Oh, yeah, Swole. I will let
Swole.
I will let Swole cut my hair.
Swole's gonna fade me up.
Gonna get
Swole.
me together.
Swole gonna get you right. No, Star Trek barber was not named Swole.
What was his name?
Wish it was. That'd be awesome.
He was blue. What was his name?
He was blue. He was blue. No one's got it.
Dabba-dee.
It was Mott.
Mott. I knew it was 3 letters.
Yeah, Mott.
Oh, shoot.
I remember because it was like, oh, like the applesauce.
That's a bad
Good
song.
shots when we get it wrong, so I can get drunk.
Yeah.
Mott's the worst name I've ever heard.
No, it's not. That was Swole.
No,
Worse.
Swole makes sense. Mott sounds like
Applesauce.
like a clot. Like I got a Mott stuck in my throat.
Listen, Mott always had the T.
That's how it goes.
Oh, because the T's at the end.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you meant spelling.
No, they get all
She's gonna give you some.
Looks like we paid the shame.
And we're back.
The shame bill has been paid. The light bill has not been.
Oh, buddy. Okay, but
Oh,
more
real-
Star Trek trivia to front. Right now, I'm winning
Oh,
Star Trek
okay.
trivia.
Also, the
Don't
thing about.
She's about to take over, guys.
Let
I
me
can
just
feel
tell you
it.
this. No, I'm going to take over. Let me
Yeah,
just tell you
take
guys
over.
this. In Star Trek, they could drink, right? They didn't drink in Star Wars.
They had synthahol.
In Star Wars?
Star Trek.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They had synthethol.
What is that?
It's synthetholish.
It makes it so that you can get drunk
so
in
you
10
can
forward,
drunk.
but once you leave 10 forward,
Yeah.
the effects of it evaporate.
Good after 10
You can go to work right after.
Yeah.
Star
So
Trek
it's just like a little, like a quick buzz.
Yeah.
Which and you know what I like?
What you
Hoosier.
like?
This is like a synthecolour, right? What'd you say? What was it called?
I think he's having a stroke.
His tongue just got
Synthethol.
swollen. It's like, wait, is
Synthethol.
he allergic?
You guys know the Star Trek words. I don't. But
I don't either. I'm
drink
sorry.
Upland.
I want to help you.
Doggone it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Was this about Upland beer?
I
I was
guess.
gonna say,
Surprise, it was a commercial all along.
We thought it was a medical issue.
synthethol, right?
I want to be a synthecolour.
I want to be a
Shot caller.
shot caller.
20-inch blades on the Impala. Collar, get laid tonight.
Now we're going to get DMs now. I'm not going any further.
I said my way. I thought we were going. I thought we were going to finish.
No, but
I thought you guys had the
Upland,
guts.
actually, Upland does have good beer.
Upland has great beer. They were sponsors of summer camp. And one of the things I'm really excited about is they've come out with a NA beverage now. It's called Hop Water. I'm not drinking it right now, but they got Hop Water, and I will be drinking that for the next 8 months. So I'm very excited that there's a product for everyone now. So that's very exciting. I also have this quick thing I want to show off here. Thad, can you hold this up for the camera?
I was curious about that.
So this is our friend Sarah Merrill, known from Metal Honey. She is going to be making these edible terrariums, and she's basically going to have a class where you can build your own at Gold Leaf, Savory or Sweet. October 11th, and you can make these edible terrariums for only $10. Decorating kits will also be available for purchase, and you can follow them on Instagram at Edible Terrariums, at Edible Terrariums.
Oh,
So now that is done, we get to eat this terrarium. So I'm very excited.
So what is the grass?
So the grass is like a green coconut.
Okay.
And then there's some like candy rocks in here.
Okay.
And then like some of the logs are chocolate, she was saying. And then the dirt is like cookie crumbles.
Yeah.
And then the bottom layer underneath here is cake.
Looks like she spent some time on that. That looks really nice.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I like the fact that she's gonna make these kits so then you can kind of do the art yourself, but all the like little, you don't have to go out and like curate all the stuff and find it and paint the grass green. It's just all there, and then you can just make your own little ones. Zach and I originally were going to do this like a couple years ago.
It was going to be for the birthday party, I think. We were going to put together a big edible terrarium. At one point, it was going to be an aquarium filled with Jell-O,
Oh, wow.
Okay.
and then I think that's when we stopped talking about it.
Never mind.
It got
That's getting a little too silly.
Yeah, too big for its britches.
it got a little too big for its
After
britches.
bringing that in. Sure. But no, that's cool.
Well, and we have Alan Sternberg here on the second half, and normally we would talk to him about the food, but he missed all the food today. So let's, you know what? It's time for the Smoking Goose brunch breakdown.
Yeah.
Smoking Goose, you know where they're at, 411 Dorman Street. That's correct. They have amazing stuff.
Man, the commercial strokes are crazy today.
Yeah.
No, they have an amazing freezer sale that's going on all the time, and for $7 you can load up, or $7 a pound you can load up a box of all this stuff in the freezer, and you can make out like a fat cat. Sometimes they'll have special sales. You got to keep an eye on it, where it'll go down to as low as like $4. And let me tell you, I run in there and I just load up. They lose money when they do that. I don't know why they do it.
You feel like a bandit when you're going in there.
Yeah, you feel like you're stealing, but it's a good kind of stealing.
Bandit. The Smoking Goose Bandit.
Everything smoking. What's your favorite thing from Smoking Goose, Zach?
I want to say the kitchen sink, but like I want to come up with something better. They do really nice the smoked salmon.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that.
And there's smoked octopus too.
Oh, that smoked octopus was really,
That blows
really
my
good.
mind every single time. And people say like, "Oh, octopus is gross." No, you're gross.
That is true. Octopus is good.
So today for Star Trek Day, man, the explanations on some of these, if you're not a Star Trek person, like
idea what
I was
I'm
just
on.
explaining this in the car. I was driving to a show with Gwen Sunkel, and I was just explaining her and she was like, "That's too much explanation." Like that took 10 minutes to explain why that was relevant.
And I still don't know what's happening, even after the explanation.
It's okay. One of my favorite expressions is like, I don't get it and I don't have to.
Well, I think the goal for us was to make something that if you weren't into Star Trek, you would still enjoy everything. And if you were into Star Trek, there should be an extra like, oh, I see what you're doing there. You know, I get it.
Because you know what's weird to me? There's like not really any Star Trek cookbooks. Which is odd to me. Like there's a whole Star Trek universe, everything. Everybody has a cookbook, and there's like one crappy one, like that's just no pictures, it's black and white. I'm like, ew.
Well, I will say this. I think part of it is because, at least like on Next Generation, food almost is just eaten for like sustenance. You know, like Deanna and Troy would get down on like a piece of chocolate cake every once in a while, or they'll try stuff, but it's like everything's being replicated, so like nothing's being made.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so like, and then later on in different Star Treks, they like Voyager lost
Quark
had
would
to
be
like
making
cook.
food.
Yeah.
Neelix always made food in Voyager.
Yeah, and then what's his name? Cisco's daddy had a restaurant.
That's right.
But that was more like he wanted to have a certain type of restaurant. Like you didn't need to.
But Cisco
you weren't
would
making
cook.
any money off of it.
He would cook for his girl.
Yeah.
Because you'd be in close quarters. And Keiko would cook. Like there'd be some cooking.
That's how you
on
know the
show.
food was probably good though, because when money's not the motive and you're just doing it because you want to, that food.
Oh,
was
yeah,
probably
you do it for the
delicious.
love, yeah.
Yeah, the love. It
love of the
translates in
game.
food. I felt it today.
Like on the new one, Strange New Worlds, like the captain like cooks for the crew like in his quarters, and everyone kind of like goes for the social aspect of it, but they always mention how weird it is. Like, yeah, he's like cooking the food, you know, like.
Because that's just
guy.
like, you don't even have to do that. It's like, you
But
can
I
just
love
DoorDash.
it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of what kind of like old timey thing that like we take for granted that like
Making-
no.
Well, it's like
Clothes.
going foraging, right?
Yeah.
You can go, pay somebody to take you on a foraging tour, and I mean that's what we all used to have to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. And it's the novelty.
That
of
just
it.
feels stressful.
So the first course, Zach.
So I did mine based on the Gorn from the original series. I made popcorn, which was basically alligator fritters with a Saurian remoulade.
You know what? What are you picturing when you hear the word Gorn?
Nothing.
It's
Hold on.
It's like I'm
I
not a
have no
nerd.
visual references. to that.
404 error.
Now
image not
I'm
found.
picturing the food he made. I'm picturing that little
No,
critter now.
so it's this iconic like alien monster.
It looks like a dinosaur almost.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's this famous scene where it's like dun, 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 bum, bum,
You know
bum,
this
bum.
song?
Oh, he sings.
Okay.
She's actually doing a really good
Is she?
job of it.
I didn't know. I was about to ask.
Yeah.
Like, lock
It's
eyes and
this-
be like,
it's
Is this okay?
like, is she freaking out? Or what's that?
I'm not having a commercial stroke.
Yeah, I didn't know.
This isn't an ad.
Yeah. It's a very specific thing.
Oh, now I see them.
So wait,
Yeah.
Gorn
It
is
looks
a
like it looks like an alligator. Yeah.
question. Gorn is a bad guy.
Well, no. So it was
What
just
ends up
somebody.
happening?
Yeah. Go on.
Go on and tell them.
Is a race of people, not a name.
Yeah.
Okay, but are they cool? Are they good people?
Are they cool?
Well,
what
they're
I wanna
actually
know
very
too, then.
intelligent species, as you find out, because you think that they're just a monster in the course of it, because Captain
But you can
Kirk
tell
is
by
pitted.
that outfit, somebody has some civilization.
So they must be
Yeah.
cool if they're sharing food. They must be cool.
Yeah, we weren't. Yeah, sure.
Oh, is this a spoiler?
No.
Well, we established earlier, if it's older than 20 years, then you can't spoil it.
I would say 2 weeks nowadays.
Thank you. Yeah, we're
Week
moving
is
a
the
little
new
faster
year.
now.
Yeah.
It's now 2 weeks. We moved it up by
That's
orders of
wild.
magnitude.
Yeah.
That's why.
You got 2 weeks.
2 weeks and you're done. Done.
With social media, is like what?
Yeah.
I mean,
so like, is it okay to spoil like Alien Romulus?
no,
No,
it hasn't been
hush.
2 weeks.
I think yes.
Wait.
It's been over 2 weeks.
Wait.
We
That
got
was-
didn't care.
Okay, I want to make an amendment to that rule.
Yeah, you just got.
If,
Oh, you're talking about like this
if there's
shit.
enough people to overturn the
Yeah.
spoil,
Oh, so we're going
preemptively.
back to 20 years.
No, you
preemptively.
Yeah,
You
that
just
was
got
20
played.
years ago.
You
It's
just got
20
played
years.
hard.
It's 20 years again. No. I won't spoil Alien Romulus, but
She wants to, though.
I just thought it. I'm sorry. Next,
Why
on
don't
to the
you
next
why don't
dish.
you invite me next time? How about that? I would have loved to see
good
the
one,
Alien
good
Romulus.
one.
See?
How about you spoil the first Alien movie?
Yeah, there you go.
Man.
Ash is a goddamn robot.
Wait, it's not Alien? It's a robot the whole time? No way.
No, Ash.
There
And
was,
like Shyamalan,
there
Ash
was
the
a
alien?
robot and an alien.
Yeah, there was a
But they
surprise.
reversed,
There was a
like
surprise.
Parent Trap?
There was a
There
surprise.
was a
ro-
summer camp.
Or
and
Freaky
we're
Friday?
Like, hey, we look alike.
Freaky
No.
Friday with robots and aliens.
I was just picturing Lindsay Lohan running
And
around on the ship.
Yeah.
Trying to get her alien parents back together.
Wow.
And then the Predator and Terminator show up and just like, pew, pew, pew.
Well, Predator and Terminator are the parents
Yeah.
that they're trying to get back
Trying
together.
to get it back together.
Which is
Predator
more
and
difficult than
Terminator.
you think.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the food.
Yeah. Well, thank you for dovetailing back.
Well, I don't.
So
Thaddaeus.
the next course, that was I'm drawing a blank here. What was before? Oh, it was the Feast of Tanagra, and that was the roast beast of Tanagra, which was
Oh, my word.
a marinated kebab.
That was definitely a
Yo,
highlight.
what was that meat?
That was the
Tanagra.
beast. That was Tanagra
Tanagra's-
beast.
Tanagra's delicious.
I'm hooked on Tanagra. I got addicted right away to Tanagra. I said, give me some more of that Tanagra, Nagra.
And that sauce.
You like, I mean, it was like it was marinated for years. It had flavor all over the place. Every bite. And when you cut it in, you see a little bit of red. You know, like, that's how I like my meat. A little soft.
A little bit of red.
A little bit of red. A little,
And a nice smoke
medium
on
well.
it, too. And so here's the other thing. So we explained it during dinner about how, like, this was from an episode of Star Trek where...
I didn't explain that.
Well, about how...
It's a liberal weed.
It was. It was like,
Is there a mouse in your pocket?
yeah, she has, lots of mice
But
in her
no, it was an episode where Picard got stranded on a planet with an alien leader who was trying to communicate with them, and this species only communicated through idioms that were related to their culture. So Picard's like, even though I understand the words you're saying, I have no context for
like
it.
this episode.
Yes.
This is the Tanagra.
Which is how Star Trek.
Simba, his eyes open.
His eyes is open. That's great.
Got it.
So yeah, it's that's why Star Trek teaches us everything. Yes.
What do you think the race of Tanagra was supposed to be represented as? Like, what type of foreign relationship were they trying to portray?
I don't think it's never anything foreign. I think it's always internal. So I think it's this idea.
American. Native Americans?
No. I compared it to the idea that when I was like in, the DEI meetings and stuff, it was brought up to me, something I never thought about before. When you make too many references to pop culture, you exclude a lot of people who didn't grow up with that stuff. So like in situations where you're not bringing context, you're not going to be understood. So I think that's but it could be lots of stuff. It's, multifaceted.
I was talking to this Mexican woman at a wedding on Friday, and we're just talking about me being a comedian, and we were talking about stand-up. I was like, oh, who's your favorite comedian that you like? And she was like, and her English she spoke pretty fluent English, and she was like, I don't really like English speaking comedians, because she was like, everything they talk about is culture to pop culture stuff that I don't understand. So it's like I understand the words, but I can't find
why it's funny.
I don't know why it's funny.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I never even thought about that. Like knowing all the and it really is it really goes back to Tanagra.
Yeah, everything goes.
Everything's
You gotta
Tanagra.
have context.
But I think that's why tying it into food makes so much sense, which is why to me it's crazy there's no Star Trek cookbook, because that's food's kind of a universal language. We all got to eat.
For sure.
So, it's just interesting how, like, like here we might call it hot water cornbread, and the Venezuelans call it arepas. It's the same thing. Yeah.
My idea for that dish was I wanted to replicate what they might have eaten on that planet together after they killed the beast. And then, so the salad idea with the salad was, if I had the time and energy, I was gonna forage a salad, but I was like, that could be that's a whole thing. So then I was like, how do I replicate a salad that looks like it was foraged?
It was very natural.
I see.
It was so good, especially with that light sweetness from the kebab. Oh, it was nice.
It went together well.
It did.
Those kebabs were gone. I feel like they pretty maybe there was one left.
I felt like I overindulged, but I was like, well, if there's still some,
They were delicious.
That may have been the first kebab on Harder Brunch.
really.
It can't be, can it?
I don't know.
I wanna push back, but I don't have a specific.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I can't.
Just
I
yes
can't.
and a statement.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Kebab Sunday.
And then the second one was, I don't know, I was more of a stretch, would be, I was a huge fan of Star Trek The Voyage Home, the movie. I saw it with my family in movie theaters when I was 8 years old. And my family didn't go to a lot of movies when I was a kid. There was a huge kind of special deal if we did. And so I remember going to see Star Trek 4 in the theater with my kid as a kid.
Wow.
I don't talk about him because he misbehaves.
Special episode of Harder Brunch.
There's the leak.
How am I not finding out about your children?
No.
I would, But I remember right before the movie played, they had a trailer for this new TV show coming out called Star Trek: The Next Generation that was supposed to take place in the future of, you know, the original series. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my, there's a Klingon on the bridge of the Enterprise. I'm freaking out as a kid. And then the movie itself, I could do a whole episode about how much Star Trek 2, 3, and 4
probably should.
Is a trilogy to me. It's one continuous story arc that goes through 3 movies, but each movie is like a different, like the first movie is like an action movie. The second one is kind of like this drama with all this kind of like existential stuff. And then the third one's a comedy. It's like the weirdest thing.
Where the Jedi returns.
But so they come back. They're basically. I'm trying to make this short because Gwen made so much fun of me. But
As she should.
they're
India's funniest comedian.
The crew of the Enterprise is coming back to Earth to make retributions for stuff they did in previous movies. They're coming back to face the music, and Earth is under attack from this creature that's like evaporating the oceans, and somehow they figure out that it's looking to talk to a whale that it came and talked to billions of years ago, but the whales are all dead in the future.
Oh,
We
dang.
suck.
So they travel back in time to go get some whales from modern day, which was the 80s. So they travel back in time to the 80s, and it's this whole
Spock does a mind meld with one
they're
of
looking
them.
for whales, but they're also the fish out of water, you know, because they're in like modern times. So it was this whole, they played it up for laughs or whatever, but Kirk of course ends up on this like date with this like whale biologist, and like he's trying to like sweet talk her into getting these whales, and they go out for pizza.
Like you do.
And I remember as a kid, she orders this pizza and she's just like, it's like, hey, do you trust me? And she's like, he's like implicitly. And then
Like, wow,
and then she was like sausage pizza, extra onion, and a Michelob. And I remember as a kid going, that sounds so good. I don't even know.
What a Michelob is.
I know what a Michelob is.
That's what you do.
But like it sounded,
That's what weekends
it sounded
are made
like
for.
it sounded like such a cool order. So I tried to replicate that. Found out that Michelob has been discontinued for years. They only make Mick Ultra now. So we served it up with the hams, but it was an excuse to use my outdoor pizza oven. And I feel like it always makes this amazing crust. It always comes out better in the pizza oven. Yeah. And then it was like a hot Italian sausage with like a slow cooked onion on it.
Where was the
Wow,
sausage
that's
from?
I think it was just from like Fresh Market.
Okay.
I got it from the deli. The deli guy had some jokes. Would you like to hear him?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I went in there and he was like, he found out I was a comedian, and then
He's like, hey, funny guy.
he's like real quiet for a minute, and then he's like, so you married? And I was like, what? No. And he goes, good. He's like, comedy and marriage doesn't mix. And I was like, all right, fair enough. And he was like, I was married once. We broke up for religious reasons. I was like, oh yeah? He goes, yeah, she thought she was God, and I told her to go to hell.
Wow.
I was like, sir, this is a fresh time deli. I need to wrap this up and get out of here.
Listen, I always hate that though. I hate when people ask me if they can tell me a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's like I'm
You're
under so
trapped.
much pressure. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god, this is
You
probably
have to
gonna
be like,
suck, and
no,
now I
I'm
gotta
fasting. Just be like, I'm fasting.
act. Fasting from jokes.
Cause you can do whatever rules you want if it's fasting. So it's
You
like,
should,
no, I
yeah.
can't.
Hilarious right now,
I
sir.
can't
I can't.
experience pleasure.
It's a religious thing. I'm sorry, I'm fasting.
I'm fasting.
So you just be like, I'm full.
Just if it's a white person, just say you're celebrating Kwanzaa, and they don't know.
It's part of
Yeah.
it.
They don't know.
I'm
That's if
spiritually
that's a rule or
cleansing.
not.
That's a rule.
Like, try to tell you, oh
Right,
no,
you can't ask.
I don't have any Kwanzaa jokes.
Yeah, I was like, oh, go ahead, and then you have to listen to it, and I was like, oh god.
Anytime someone finds out that I'm a comedian, like an Uber driver, they always like have a joke for me.
Don't you hate that?
It's always racist or sexist or
Oh,
homophobic. Like it's always like the worst
You
joke
need to
ever.
come
It always
up
makes
with
you
a
pick
fake job. What could your fake job be?
Yeah, you got to come up with a fake job.
Yeah, you
'cause,
gotta
like,
stop people telling
No,
people
you
you're
need
a
to
comedian.
collect
It's
these
making-
jokes and publish them in a book, like jokes
like
that I was
Dave
told to tell.
Sedaris. You know how Dave Sedaris, he made his
Yeah.
whole career about just talking shit about people he made out in the world.
I think
wanted to do
comedians
that.
need a card. Like they need a card to hold. This, like say, like I'm a comedian. Please don't ask me to tell a joke or something. Like because like that's the only job that people say. Prove it to me. Like if I say I'm a doctor, I don't say. People don't say take my
Cure
blood
me.
pressure.
Right
Do
now.
my
Yeah.
physical.
Yeah, take my
For free.
They might ask you for like free medical advice though.
Yeah, that is
Oh,
true.
Yeah, I bet that
taking their
happens a
shoes
check
lot.
out this mole.
Yeah.
know. I guess I'm trying to go. But what's the profession that just shuts down the conversation?
Proctologist.
No. They're like, what's the
Mortician,
weirdest
maybe?
thing you found?
Yeah.
Baby mortician.
Oh.
No follow-up questions.
Shuts it down.
No follow-up questions.
about to shut down
Specifically
the
babies.
podcast.
Right. Specifically babies, though.
God damn.
Man.
Yeah, that does shut it down.
Is that a specific one? I thought it was
I
just a
don't think
mortician.
I don't know.
But you have to
It was
add
one
that
of
to
those-
It's
make
not like a
it.
teenage mortician.
Yeah,
It was one of
just
those I was
babies.
right,
Or
I was
young-
wrong at the
young-
same time.
Hey, I'm a young adult mortician.
All right, real quick, what was that dessert?
Oh, so I did mine based on Guinan off of The Next Generation because Whoopi Goldberg's one of my favorite actors. It was a chocolate meditation cake, which was just a flourless chocolate cake. I put a chocolate mousse on top of it, and then I had some like iridescent purple and gold sparkles to put on it.
Man, I was looking at those sparkles.
There's a fun fact.
They're lickable.
Zach says
Edible.
that Whoopi was one of his favorite actors. Whoopi was also his sexual awakening.
Oh,
No,
really?
no.
Yeah. Was it the lack of
fixation.
eyebrows?
No. I very much had a crush on Whoopi Goldberg, but my sexual awakening was to the girl fox in the Disney movie Robin Hood.
Yeah, Robin Hood was doing a lot of work.
There was a lot of horny cartoon characters.
Yeah.
They were cartoonists are perverts, like all of them.
See, I don't think it was a cartoonist. I think it was me.
Nah, every single cartoonist is like
A little
Every
extra.
single one.
every single one,
Damn.
and the comic book people too, all of them.
What have we learned? What have we learned here on
just
Star Trek
lost
Day
it.
today? What are your final Star Trek thoughts?
Mine?
Yeah.
I think it inspires people. Like I feel like it inspired a meal that I super enjoyed. Everything was really great. And I guess you don't have to love Star Trek to enjoy it.
I like that.
Yeah, I guess.
You don't have to like things to
You
enjoy
like
them.
things to enjoy them.
Wait, I don't understand that.
Yeah. Do you guys buy it or you're buying that?
I'm confused.
I will say this. I'm a person that like I definitely can get enjoyment out of somebody who's really into something.
Period. Yeah.
You know, but like I've listened to I've experienced a lot of music that way. Like this person loves this band so much and they're so hype on it that I'm getting like this secondhand enjoyment out of it. Can you drop a beat for me there, Sauce Boss? Kat and Moni, always a pleasure to have you. Oh wait, Kat, I forgot. We buried the lead. You made. Can you turn the plug music off?
Oh
I'm sorry.
yeah. We got to get that up.
You
here.
came and helped us out with adult summer camp on the last day,
Right behind you.
and you did a coffee and canvas, and you did something very cool this year. It's right behind you. Oh. It is a you had. Well, you explain it. I don't just take your thunder. And if you could you show.
Okay, is this in the shot? Move over. Okay.
Very nice.
Yeah, I just set up a palette for everybody to make their own creation, whatever size they wanted to, and then I turned it into a mural, and now we have this.
It's awesome.
It
You
looks so
used
good.
Harder Brunch.
It was so fun, and I played music.
Used Harder.
It was
What?
lightly ratchet.
like morning
Oh, that was
morning
the-
ratchet.
I feel like
Morning
there's
ratchet.
also we should do a nod to the Above the Rim soundtrack that got us through the brunch.
Yeah.
Wow. Should not have been listening to that at 12 years old. That was just wow.
Yeah, we were told the Star Trek music wasn't cutting it; that it was a little too somber.
Yeah.
So we turned, but there was Star Trek in the Above the Rim soundtrack.
What was it?
The song "Pain."
What's the?
It's like, oh, I'm sorry. Can I put this?
Yeah,
on?
yeah. Thank you.
Come back.
Song Pain.
Thank you.
What's the line? What's the lyric?
Very like because I was gonna say like every sound engineer is a nerd.
Mm-hmm.
So like whoever was mixing or whatever before the song, they added a very small clip from The Final Frontier.
Exactly.
Thank you, friend.
There we go.
Where Spock's half brother
Yeah.
is like he starts this cult and he absorbs people's pain, and he was like, I can feel your pain. He's like, I know your pain. He's like, my pain, it runs deep. Share it with me. And that's at the beginning of the song Pain from Above the Rim. So it tied in, and then we just listened to the whole thing.
What a
It had some, but that's where regulators. I didn't forget that.
what a weird. Hold on, I don't want to skim over that. What a weird clip to put in the middle of a hip hop or the beginning of a hip hop song.
It worked.
From Final Frontier is like the second to worst movie.
No, it's not. We decided, yeah. Me and
decided?
Peter decided that it was actually quite good. We're going to rewatch it because it has some really heavy philosophical like things it was punching in. Like, you just have to come into it knowing it's camp. This isn't Aliens. You know what I'm saying? This is Star Trek,
right.
okay?
Were we talking about the first Star Trek movie?
No, we all agree that was That's why we were arguing about what the second worst one was.
No. I think that it's a little zany.
Okay.
So, but this is Star Trek, though. We just got through looking at the Zorn.
Is that the one with the fan
It looks
dance?
crazy. Maybe.
I rest my case.
You can't keep looking at me like I'm gonna give you some
Can you
answers.
drop a beat for
Please
us?
drop the beat, please.
We out here lost again.
Moni, you want to tell people where they can find you and follow you on social media?
Absolutely. I thought you'd never ask. You guys can find us anywhere you listen to your podcast, the Fake Ass Book Club. We have an Instagram, the Fab Podcast. Anywhere you can find your favorite podcast, we are there.
Kat, anything to add to that?
Your body belongs to you.
It does. Autonomy. We're into it. Hey guys, check us out. We're fun on the bun.
You guys got that from Star Trek.
Absolutely.
Autonomy. That's just where I learned that word.
That is Jake.
That Mckee on
Oh wait,
all
we still got another
platforms.
half day. We'll just let them do theirs. I'm sorry.
Well, all right.
Yep. Erase that plug.
Yeah.
Don't let anyone know where they can find that on social
Not
media.
yet.
You can find me at Zach_1 on my social media.
Cheater.
We'll be right back with Chef Alan Sternberg. Thank you, guys.
This week on the After Brunch Podcast.
I hate this. I hate the after brunch now. The after brunch is a bunch of lies. You think it's behind the paywall, and then the worst shit you say because you're teased into it gets put on the clip.
I mean, we have been administering the teasing this whole episode.
Damn it! I walked right into this. I'm the clown
Nobody
penis.
even set you up, dude. You just said it.
I'm the clown cock right now.
Join us at patreon.com/Harder Brunch.
All right, we're back talking to Chef Alan Sternberg and longtime Star Trek fan.
Yeah.
When did your fandom begin?
The early 90s with the films. My parents turned me on to that. I was kind of in that right age for Next Generation. And then we, as a family, kind of watched Voyager as it came out. Kind of skipped over Deep Space Nine. But yeah, at this point, I've seen about everything.
Deep Space Nine was too adult for me when it came out.
It was dark and moody,
Yeah.
and like it was such a different vibe, and them just being stuck in one place and like having Adventure of the Week come to them and not them be able to go, have the Alien of the Week thing, I think really kind of hindered it, because that's why they gave them a ship later on so that they could do that, because they realized it was kind of boring, and then they had to make a whole war, and then
Space Truck Stop.
yeah.
But I did go back. A lot of stuff I've gone back and watched after the fact, and I enjoyed it more. It was like Deep Space Nine. I enjoyed as an adult going back. I'm like, oh yeah, this. I would not have enjoyed this as much. Whereas like I feel like Next Gen, you could be 8 or you could be 80, and you can kind of enjoy that episode.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely before like serialized TV too. So every episode is a little encapsule of itself, and you don't need too much information to sit down and watch it. And I know that the BBC would replay it in the last handful of years, and it's just one of those kind of comfort things where it's easy to consume.
Are they all like standalones in their own way?
For the most part, not tons of character development throughout the course of Next Generation. They kind of definitely, I mean, especially compared to now where it's like everything is a 13 episode movie basically. They just kind of, they can sit on their own, and you can enjoy one episode or you can watch the whole series.
They did 8 seasons, and Riker like grew a beard. Like that was his character.
Yeah, it was like after the first season, they're like, this guy looks like a child, so they gave him a beard.
Oh man.
Has there been anything? Do you think the Star Trek has affected your life in any kind of way?
Yeah, so I didn't realize how much I liked it until I started traveling up north to Warsaw. I was working here and living here, but I was doing some consulting stuff up in Warsaw, and it's about a 3-hour drive, and it gets really boring. And I found a Star Trek podcast, and just kind of reignited kind of my love of that fandom. I think Star Trek is way more optimistic about the future. Most sci-fi is very bleak and dystopian, and Star Trek's very post-scarcity. Like, what are the real conflicts when no one's hungry and no one is worried about housing or mental health's addressed? Like,
Wait, didn't Earth blow up?
no.
You're thinking of Oops, I Blew Up the Earth. Thinking of
That
film.
movie. I just watched that. It's good. No, they're in space for a reason, right? Earth is like
Exploration.
crap, right?
No, I mean it's
just exploring.
yeah. Like
Very
if you have the
optimistic, then.
ability, I mean, if you have the ability to travel to the ends of the universe, like why would you not?
Yeah, in the Earth.
I mean, I wanted to move the fuck out of my hometown as soon as I could. Like it's the same thing. It's
going to space.
if you could go to a different planet, yeah. Like why wouldn't you?
I mean, resources is my main concern.
But if you don't have to worry about that, again, post scarcity, like you're not. It's post capitalism. Like there's no reason.
no money.
Yeah, there's no. If you want if you want to live on Earth, you can live on Earth. You don't.
You're saying it's just as good in space as in Earth. You get to see more in space.
Yeah.
I got you. I can see that argument.
Well, there's like
can see the point of
15,
Star
15
Trek.
series about it. Like it's not a small. It's not a small world.
Yeah, I'm not against it.
it's gonna be awesome
I'm
when
not-
this ends up being an anti-Star Trek podcast.
Yeah, I'm not an
We're taking the
anti-space
long-
man.
You just like it's not anti. It's just like why the fuck would they do that?
I
Like
feel
why
like-
why are they doing these little adventures in space?
Well, I
Yeah,
had
that's like
questions
every
why.
Hollywood producer be like, hey, how about this? How about the Earth sucks, so they blow it up? Now they're looking for a new Earth.
I'm just going with the status quo.
Yeah,
That's what I thought. Like,
actually, that's just Battlestar Galactica. That's all that is.
oh, I got the
Yeah.
mixed up.
Yeah, Earth's gone and they're getting chased and everyone's dying.
That's probably at least 40 movies.
yeah,
It's
it's most of them. Yeah, we're kind of
So that's what I was
recycling
just-
this conversation.
That's what I was just going off of.
Good.
But you guys wanted to make me look like an idiot.
Is
for
this an
asking a
ad?
yeah,
question.
this is us making you look like an idiot. That was exactly what happened.
You guys failed.
What has been in your very limited exposure to Star Trek? What has been your favorite, Thad?
My favorite?
Yeah.
I would say, this Harder Brunch, the food.
That's
no, hold
amazing.
on. I know for a fact you've started multiple Star Trek movies.
Yeah, I have.
You watched the first 15 minutes of Wrath of Khan.
Okay, yeah.
You watched the first 10 minutes of the New Kelvin timeline movie.
Also, 5 is the worst movie. 5 is way worse than the original.
I watched one where they were rebooting the characters. Is that 5?
5 is they go and kill God, and it was so
What?
bad that they were like, we can't end these series of movies on this, so they had to make a way better movie.
I agree. I would say 5 and 1. I'm not going to split hairs on two piles of shit, but like,
Yeah, the
They're
even numbers
both
are
pretty-
good. Even
yeah.
numbers are good. Odd numbers are bad.
Search for Spock's good.
It's not a movie. It's like a filler.
Yeah, Search for Spock is good inside of the other two.
Inside
Oh,
of the
yeah,
other two.
Yeah. As
Isolated?
a film by
Yeah.
itself, no.
It would be impossible to watch because you have no context.
But
before or after.
it does complete the trilogy of the best part of
Right.
Star Trek.
I'm not going to argue with the trilogy theory. Like that's real.
And Christopher Lloyd as a Klingon. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's a fun little
They
side.
blow up the Enterprise.
And the Klingon
I'm
dog?
gonna have to push back on a little bit. They blow up the Enterprise.
There's a Klingon dog?
There's the Targ. Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Ah. Need some Targs in here.
Let's get nope.
Yeah.
Nope. Thought better of it. This is not the after brunch.
That's the name of the episode.
But yeah, no, yeah, 5 was, but 1 is so 5 is a bad movie. 1 is like a really drawn out, slow bad movie. So
it's really rough.
I feel like you're being tortured by it more.
Like I get that.
That
but,
pull-out scene with the Enterprise, the first time they and you know they did it because everybody wanted to see it on the big screen, but it is the worst montage.
Kevin Smith said it's just 90
it's
minutes.
because it was supposed to be it's supposed to be the reboot series.
Yeah.
Like that's what it was supposed to
Star
be.
Trek 2.
But was it supposed to be bad?
If you could take a break in between it and you got 24 minutes every week of it and it was the beginning and
I don't
led
know.
to something else.
That seems like the same argument as like kids' movies have to be dumb. I don't think they do.
I think the idea was it had been 20 years since the original, and they really wanted to showcase how far the technology had come. So it was like, how about we show the Enterprise pulling out for 10 minutes?
Yeah.
And everyone can revel in that, and then it's a terrible movie.
But like that's still like a great like leitmotif of Star Trek is the flyby. Like so much of what they do in the series originated in some of those early bad films. That like it'd be weird if they introduced a new ship and they didn't do like a super slow, drawn out flyby.
It's kind of nodding at itself.
Yeah, like it's
Over and over.
I feel like
Somebody brought up recently, how come no ships on Star Trek ever pull up like upside down to each other? Like they're in space, right?
yeah.
So they're always like right side up, nose to nose. Like they should be coming at each other from weird angles and upside down.
No, I buy that. Yeah, I totally buy that. Just like when there's like people talking about like third ships or or Next Generation, when Jellicoe takes over the Enterprise, he talks about going to a 4-shift rotation, and it's like, if you're in space, what the fuck? Like what?
Does a shift matter?
Yeah, what's the middle of the night?
Well, would you
there's no fucking star around?
Right.
I mean,
Like-
humans are still like cyclic creatures, though. You might need to do something that mimics that.
But living in space, your circadian rhythm would change because it's dependent on when you're seeing light and when you don't see light. That's why people that get stuck in like tunnels and stuff, like, their cycle changes depending on because they don't know what time it is because they don't have any of the context that we use to determine that.
They're still using military time.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're on 4th shift, you know you should be tired.
Right, but like
It lets you know that you're fucked. Like, you're the least important on the ship.
And you got to call home. You got to know what time to call home. Like, you don't want to call when your kids are sleeping.
Oh, that's true.
Like, I'm on 4th shift.
The kids are working 4th shift, too.
There's no answer machines in the future.
it's just all Taco Bells, all 4 shifts.
It's just all 4th shift.
Yeah, 4th meal.
4th meal.
Yeah.
You also have a Star Trek tattoo?
Yeah.
At least one. I haven't checked.
No, it's just the one. It's my knuckles say "Make it so," and
That
the
is-
A is the comm badge from Next Generation.
That is the coolest tattoo of Star Trek I've ever seen.
Pete Schmuddy from Leviathan. Now he used to be my pastry chef. He recommended it because I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do on my knuckles, and he's like, "You should just get Make It So." I thought about it for probably 3 years. I was like, you know what? Still haven't thought of anything better.
I feel like it even doubles up as like a chef thing, too. Like, it has just like, I don't know, the whole thing. I love that tattoo.
Yeah, it's great. So, but yeah, it weirdly came about from the listening to the podcast, starting to talk about Star Trek again, and then Pete recommending that. So, yeah.
And Star Trek is a thing that I feel like you can fall out of and then come back to, and it's always there and it's always good.
And I'm one of the arguments on the podcast I listen to is that Star Trek is a place, and it's a place to tell stories. So like you can tell different kinds of stories.
Sure.
And not every series interacts with every other series. So like, you know, you can write a comedy in Star Trek. You can write a mystery in it. You can tell lots of different kinds of stories. You can tell a horror story in it. And as long as the rules of the universe don't break, it doesn't matter if there's any connection. You can go, 8,000 years in the future, like Discovery did, or 800. I don't remember the exact. I think it's 800. But like, it doesn't matter because the rules of the universe are the rules. I feel like Star Wars kind of really suffers from that in a lot of ways because everything tries to get tied back to the Skywalker storyline. So like, I think there's, I think some of the best things about that universe is when they don't do that.
Well, I remember when it was controversial. Like as excited I was for this next generation of Star Trek, I remember there was this old guard that was like, if it's not Kirk and Spock, like get out of here. Like how can you do Star Trek without Kirk and Spock?
Yeah, but that's everybody with everything. That the thing you like as a kid or when you're younger, like you don't want anyone to enjoy, and you're this weird purist, but like it was a new thing for you at some point too. Like it's, I don't know, it's just silly old man shit.
My favorite bit of Star Trek like lore is that Shatner wrote books, and they are not considered canon.
Yeah,
They're like, it's called the Shatnerverse.
yeah.
And I just love that they were like, no, fuck that. Like you might have been Captain Kirk, but you don't get to.
Yeah, I mean, he's the ultimate old man, right? Like, I got a billionaire friend and I actually go to space, and then I'm a bitch about going to space. Like, fuck him. Like, fuck Will Shatner.
Did he complain about space?
Oh, yeah.
Wait, what did he have to say?
He's
I didn't know. I
he's
wasn't
like,
aware
he was
got to
like
go.
90 years old. Like going to space is really traumatic on your body, and like it wasn't good for him because he was like 90 years old.
No space for old men.
Yeah,
That's the name of the show.
yeah.
That's so good. I mean, yeah, this is just a disclaimer to our listeners. If you're 90, don't go to space.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At least until the technology's better.
yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's a safe
Teleporters.
cover. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, was his bones all messed up when he came back?
I didn't check him. I mean,
I don't know.
How was his bones?
yeah.
Was he
But for real, though,
disfigured?
how was his
No,
bones?
I'll let
All
you.
messed up?
I'll let you Google William Shatner bone.
He wasn't like, backwards or anything.
Yeah,
Comes back and
yeah. That's how going to space
I'd
works.
be
It's like
complaining
it's
too.
like turning into a caterpillar. Your insides just liquefy and your bones reform.
I mean, just a minute ago, you guys were making fun of him for complaining, but I'm like, that sounds like it hurts.
He chose to go. No one made him do it.
You don't think he was a little bit forced?
No.
Listen, Shatner, you're getting on this rocket.
Yeah.
I'm just picturing him like, maybe it's not a
Yeah.
good idea.
Now say Priceline.
Yeah.
One way or another, you're getting on this shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's good for views.
Man.
Anyways, I don't know.
Now, Alan, you're a Patreon subscriber. You're a longtime listener to the show. You said to me recently that you've been listening and maybe there was some corrections that you had for Thad. Do you remember any of those?
No,
Yeah,
I
got beef to pick with you too.
all right. The general sentiment is when Thad starts talking about food, some wild shit comes out, and sometimes I get mad. I'm yelling at my radio in my car like an old man, and like I just feel like there needs to be some level of
Accountability?
yeah.
Let's hear him. I'm ready to be held
I don't
accountable.
have the particulars. I didn't bring notes.
Oh, I thought like I said baguette wrong
No.
or something.
No, you missed Shalloms.
Shallops.
Scallops, that's what it was, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
We're cooking scallops on the grill, and he walks out, he's like, shallops. And then he just walks away.
Yeah,
I appreciate the confidence. Though,
I know.
but, like, yeah.
I wish I had the confidence about things I knew that
Yeah.
Thad has about things he doesn't.
I mean,
well, where we call them shallops where I was from.
Yeah.
And it
You
was
gonna pull the Haiti card?
pulling the Michigan card.
I get one Haiti card per year. And this is the one I'm choosing to use it. Yeah, I call Haiti.
Now you said you had a bone to pick with Sternberg.
Oh,
What was-
yeah.
what was that?
So Dyke has gotten closer in your proximity. In the past. Are we all
Sometimes
right?
he sleeps
Yeah,
outside
yeah,
your
yeah.
house. It's
It sounds
weird.
like I crawled in bed with
I
him.
mean,
We want him to not do that
like,
anymore.
you
but-
see him at work a lot more is what I'm trying
Yeah,
to say.
yeah.
And Dyke comes home and says, "Man, like I think you really pissed off Alan." And you gotta understand, this is in our season when views were down, so I was scraping at the bottom. Just
You're
to
thinking
make
maybe
some
it's true.
just to make some content. And yes, I said I might have besmirched your name and said you were a bad judge and that you had anger issues about losing in the past. and I thought it was a good theory. I didn't say it was true, but
I mean,
some of our fans,
half an episode was based around that theory.
Well, some
It's
of
like
our
30
fans,
minutes.
We waxed poetic about it.
Yeah.
I guess some of our fans are a little bit more sensitive, and I wanted to actually apologize.
This is a hell of an apology.
Yeah. I have a bone to pick with you.
because-
I'm sorry.
Because it was a theory. The bone is understand we're making content here, and if I say you're a bad judge, that's canon for that episode, and then it goes away. That's how.
Oh, so you're
That's
saying
how
as
the
far
internet
as-
works,
as
right?
far
You
as
put
the
it out
brunch
there and
goes-
it's just gone forever.
it's actually out there for a long time.
Yeah,
This is what they've been telling me.
Yeah.
This is what they've been saying in the meetings.
Well, it's like, people will come up to me and they'll quote something from an episode from 4 months ago, and I'm like, I don't even have an idea of what you're talking about. So yeah, somebody's gonna come up and be like, "So Sternberg's really bad judge?" Is that the thing?
That's the one episode you drop in for.
I would like to say on record, and this is canon, I don't think Sternberg's a bad judge. I threw out a theory of maybe that's why you guys lost, and I was just trying to save your asses.
Well, yeah, thanks for saying it at the very end of the episode.
Yeah,
It's because you guys have been losing meat cake for years now.
yeah. And your theory was it was sabotage from
I was trying to help you out.
a
Maybe-
renowned chef in town.
I mean, well, we could say here we're all friends. Alan lost the first year that he participated.
Well, I mean, he didn't. Yeah, okay. That he.
I mean, one
participated.
person won.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, technically,
not you,
not me. No.
and not you.
No.
And I was
Yeah,
like, maybe
we all
he
lost.
was mad. I get mad when I lose. I think that's a normal human response.
And but you were inferring it started like a villain arc.
Yeah.
Like it was like, I am going to continue to be a part of this, but I'm going to specifically make sure that Dyke and Zach lose.
Well, yeah. I mean, I will say, first year I had first place, second year I had second place, and then after it happened to Alan, I never got into those upper echelons
Ever. Again.
I'm going to go on record as saying I don't need anyone to sabotage my chances of winning meat cakes.
Oh,
I
but
will
we still
say,
are.
I'm on your side.
First year I judged, you didn't make a cake at your cake event.
You mean the meat pie
Yeah, when he
with empanadas? Another meat pie?
He made empanadas
I know.
at cake.
I know.
At meat cake.
Yep.
So yeah, you don't need help losing. You fucking do it to yourself.
It was an open interpretation.
Is that how a judge should talk to a contestant? I'm just saying.
He's just gonna do a pizza this year.
Yeah.
I was really thinking about doing a pizza.
That's what's crazy is that you. Never mind.
I'm gonna win with a pizza.
No, say it, Zach. It's time for everybody to hear.
No, this has gone on long enough anyway.
All right. Well, I forgive you. Is what I'm trying to say. It's
I'm glad we
all
could-
water to the bridge.
Yeah, I'm
but
glad we could button that up after all this time. Oh, excuse me. Oh, one thing I did want to talk about: Tinker Coffee, sponsor of our show. I love them. I always say I'm so glad that our sponsors are people that I make products that I actually enjoy and use. But I've always had one critique. I've always had one complaint about Tinker Coffee, and that's I couldn't take it with me on the road. And now Tinker Coffee can go with you wherever you want. You throw this in a bag, you go to Maui, you can drink Tinker Coffee on the beach. How beautiful is that? How beautiful is that, Dad?
I don't know. The fans are rolling their eyes at your pitch.
They were just waiting for it to go bad. That's what they were doing.
Oh,
Can you imagine what our commercials would sound like if we didn't like the product? They would be absolutely brutal.
You're trying.
That hurt.
You're trying so hard. It's commendable.
You're right. I'm gonna yes and that. It is good coffee.
Thank you.
Sounds like I'm being forced. Fine. Yes.
It sounds
Come
like you're
on.
being, yeah.
I like it a little bit. A lot, actually.
First off, Peanut Gallery, I want to say I'm getting blamed for how bad Thad did. Thad did such a bad job. He couldn't even put words into his
job.
I Simone Biles it. I landed that shit.
No.
I landed that shit.
No.
How dare you even say, put some respect on their name.
That was more like a mental health break than landing the jump.
You were more of the pummel horse than you were Simone Biles.
I mean...
Great vocab.
No. Talk about vocab. But listen, people want
talk about
Simone of these puns. Okay, that was terrible. Yeah. Sorry, America. That was even to kind of Biles out there.
Hit that "you're fired" button.
Yeah, we don't need to bring her into anything anymore. I'm making a Harder Brunch promise. I'm not going to bring up anything else about Simone Biles, especially during an election year.
Yeah, what about shallops?
Hey, man.
You talking about vocab?
It's called content.
Yeah.
But see, the thing is, like, he'll say something so wrong. I'm like, I want a shirt that says shallops now. It has a picture of a scallop.
Timothy Shelbane.
God damn it.
No.
Yeah.
Drop a beat for me.
Let's get the fuck out.
That's that beat when the best joke award goes. Okay, fuck it.
Alan Sternberg, where can people find you and follow you on social media?
At Alan_Sternberg on Instagram. I don't really do anything on Facebook, and I don't really have anything else because I'm almost 40, and anything else makes me kind of creepy.
But you are cooking it, chefing it up at Bluebeard?
Yep, over at Bluebeard, Bluebeard Indie. Got a dinner up at 9th Street Bistro next week on Tuesday, I guess in 2 days. It is sold out. I'm also going to be at the Best Restaurants event over at the Stutz in a couple weeks, put on by Indie Monthly. I got some other stuff coming up soon. So,
have you ever done a Star Trek dinner?
No.
He's done a space dinner.
I think you should do one.
With I
think you should do one.
Food is done so badly in Star Trek. It's a lot of just like raw ginger because it looked weird to white people in the 90s. like they'd never heard of Asia at all, or rhizomes, or it's a thing. But like a lot of food looks horrible in Star Trek, so
we need to reclaim it. We need to make Star Trek
edible.
Yeah, make it edible. Thaddaeus J, let's get that plug out now.
You can find me at Fab Mckee or Shallops Are a Thing.
Zach Rowe.
Actually, I'm about to drop a new cookbook, The Joy of Replicating. Check it out anywhere you can get your books.
At Dyke Michaels across all social media. Check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Harder Brunch. Only $3 a month that gets you access to our incredible backlog of After Brunch comedy podcasts, us talking to comedians, cutting loose. If you think Thad says wild stuff on this show, meet us on the After Brunch.
Yeah.
Also, there's an amazing song from a couple weeks ago that is worth the $3.
I thought it was Barry.
Yeah, check out that Nasty Nate episode.
Yeah,
that's where you should start. If you're just getting into the Harder Brunch Patreon universe, you need to start with the Nasty Nate episodes. That'll catch you up pretty much.
There might be a clap back to that for sure. Coming back.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.